Hey folks, I'm Aspen Arrow. Welcome back to the desert of RimWorld as we continue the tribal impid run. We sent Danny off on a long caravan over to do some trading. Gonna stop by our nearby trade partner on the way home to grab some sandstone blocks, finishing up her throne room that everyone has been working on so diligently while she was away. Are making progress, just I believe one more royal rank to go. So after grabbing those blocks, Danny comes home and we just didn't quite get our throne room done, but we're getting there. Also doing some remodeling in the base. We do have a fabricator bench down now to make our own components, and did some arranging to make room for that without expanding the base much more. Also trying to reclaim what sandstone we have and finally get our walls matching. Danny is of course upset about the state of her throne room, despite the numerous improvements and countless resources, including our precious wood from our saguaro cactuses. But hopefully she feels better to know that Novo has made her a legendary grand meditation throne, the beauty of 330, so hopefully that helps with that final royal level, which sure does require a very impressive room. We also got the harpsichord in so that we will be able to set her up for her next high level. And as we continue to work on this building project, why not take a look at another one? A 23 by 38 sized building that will reward us 3 healer mech serums. Which, for those of you who have been here since the beginning, know exactly what this is going to be for. Way back in episode 1, our dog Fantasia took a hit in the jaw from a raider and has been this whole time with a shattered jaw that we cannot repair. There is no surgery to fix it without mods. So, while the plan was to get Danny her last level and be done with this playthrough, I guess we're gonna build a giant monument to honor our hero dog Fantasia and get her jaw fixed. I hate these quests and I genuinely did not want to accept this, but for the story, we are gonna build this ridiculous 23 by 38 monument. Of course, the challenge is finding a place that'll fit, that won't land on soft sand, the water, and will be close enough that we can build it without walking all over the map. Did look at the ancient danger to just kind of use some of that space. It's not big enough. We are going to end up down here just short of the geothermal. But I did try to fit it quite a few places and it just is really big. As you can see, it's 874 tiles that we're going to have to fill. Yay, more building. Fortunately, we do have deep drills and a source of, stone blocks. I think we have 2 stone cutters already, so everyone's just going to be on mining. We can rip down our old monument at this point. Did also go ahead and get that psychic sensitizer installed into Kaz, who now has a higher neural heat rate, letting her cast a little bit more. She's being one of our better psycasters. Danny, and part of the reason I went ahead and made Danny a royal was being the hypersensitive or sensitive. I can't remember which one she is, but unfortunately is not getting the greatest of psycasts. It is also time we have finally unlocked bionics, so we can start fixing some stuff like the right ear on Kuz, some stab stars in the legs, and of course our 2 remaining prosthetics. So we are gonna queue up a new ear and a few legs We cannot make advanced components yet, but we do have quite a few we've accumulated just from buying them. Selling our animals has actually made us a fair amount of money throughout this playthrough. We have also been making psychite tea, which we really don't use, but we do sell. And so we have yet another person making their way up through the ranks of psycasting. Says I'm getting a level 1 stun psycast, which is great. Stun is so helpful. And in anticipation of having to do a whole lot of building, we are going to go ahead and make another constructoid bot to help build this monument, as we will need people both mining and building and cutting blocks to get it done. Get those zones expanded. So important to keep control of where your pawns are and make sure they aren't running off to silly places. Although I do wish there was a way for animals, mechs, and the pawns to just be told all to go to one place at one time when I'm playing. It would be nice when there's a raid or something and I need everyone in the walls not to check 3 tabs. And as we take a look at Danny's finished, fully done, hopefully I think pretty nice looking throne room, we have some duck join. We accept this construction quest and get the monument for it. You can see not quite every tile will need to be filled. We have some little gaps around the edge, but it is not an insubstantial building to have to build. And while Danny runs off down to the bottom of the desert, probably because I have them unrestricted to go get something, we did also accept the quest for her next level of royalty. So she gets to come running all the way back and be the last to her own ceremony. One of the dryads over by our anima tree going mad. That's all right. I'm sure they'll calm down soon. We are not linked to the dryads. They're just planted over there to make it look nicer. You can see we're up to 3 trees, though maybe we should have linked with them to get some berries and some medicine. Having just done a dryad run before this was recorded, I was not really in the mood to do more trees though. And so there it is, Baroness Danny, after coming to us with a prosthetic leg and not much else going on. She has risen through the ranks. And I think still to this point has not had a mental breakdown. Maybe has had one, but for the most part, Danny has toughed it through pretty much everything. See the ear almost done. We're gonna make a few more shield belts. And we're gonna choose a permit for our Baroness. I'm looking to get that cataphract squad, as it's useful just to throw at things if nothing else. As we do draw close to hopefully ending the series. Didn't feel the need for a lot of this stuff. We've had plenty of money. I've bought plenty of things. So I just decided to go ahead and take the food drop. Food has been one of our more persistent problems. And having a chance to stockpile some packaged survival meals will save us some work and will get us some backup food for the royal ending. Next up, we have 10 soldiers to go kill 4 wasters. For 7 honor, of course, looking to finish up. You can see we have 11 colonists, so it's all but 1. So we'll accept it. Easy quest, easy honor, and we do want to get Danny finished up. So hopefully around the time we finish building that monument and fixing Fantasia's jaw, we are ready to do the royal ending. So Forath will stay home with the kids. Dryad's still pissed off, but everyone can just stay in the walls for now. No need to go out and deal with it. You can see our animals are once again out of food, so we are culling our herd down a bit. As even with selling them, it rapidly gets out of hand, having cows and camels and now ducks. And here we are on a map that is green and has a river and has trees, and it is just so nice. So much different than the desert. But we've made it work. I think we have made really good progress. We have good gear. We have great and legendary assault rifles. We've even managed to get Danny into prestige recarn gear that we didn't have to make, which is always nice. And I don't think these wasters stand much of a chance. No, they did not. Yeah, I think we won. Oh, Bloom here, maybe. Okay, I guess we're gonna let him go. And we just barely outranged this turret, so we'll take that out without any danger. Taking out half the wall, we will of course give Danny the honor. Something I learned early on that I didn't know about was if you want to give someone honor on these quests, you actually need to be sure to take them. So, in case you didn't know, it is important to take the person you want to give the honor to. In this case, we wanted to be sure Danny got it. So we're going to strip down a bunch of this base, take some resources, take some freestone blocks. We've got time. We got plenty of people here and a shuttle to carry us back. So might as well grab it. We're also going to grab a couple of those mega sloths on the map for some heavy fur, which makes pretty good clothing and dusters if we don't have devil strand, and also gives us some meat to cook for a few days, hopefully to get us to our potatoes being done. One of the downsides of corn and potatoes, of course, being that they take a really long time to grow. So, and we're growing hay for the animals rather than rice. Normally I would have some rice growing, but we are starting to get low on food for the amount of people we have, and we're having to feed the animals. You can see making decent progress. Got a start on our monument here. And we're going to engage in some shenanigans in the hopes of trying to get a few more impids. Just have not lucked out with getting money. The original intent was we were going to only have impids, but I realized that if we did it with children, that was going to take forever, and we just didn't seem to have a lot of opportunity. So thus we allowed Danny, Mila, Smith, and then our two folks, Gavril and Four Eyes, to join us from the Ancient Danger. I think the only impid we have actually recruited that was not our original or our colonist was Rove. So we are intentionally polluting the base, trying to get a pollution retaliation. We'll see if it works. We also took Nestor, but Nestor is also not an impid, but we took Nestor figuring that perhaps Noise would like a friend. And speaking of Nestor, he is all grown up, at least according to RimWorld, at the ripe old age of 13. He has endless enthusiasm, wants to spend more time learning about gene editing and playing with the dog. So we'll give him animals, shooting, which we probably didn't need to do, but what the heck. Kids get so many passions. He came to us as a nudist. I believe I chose neurotic. And then we have a few choices. Creepy breathing, delicate, which is a no. Creepy breathing is not great. Steadfast is fine. Night owl is reasonably fine. Depressive is a no, or kind. Did go back and forth between steadfast and kind, and decided to just go with steadfast. It'll offset the neurotic. I don't ultimately know what the final values are for Nestor's breakdowns, but we seem to be happy enough that hopefully everything will be okay. We do have the kids in shield belts, so if they are caught out, they are hopefully a little extra protected if someone makes a pot shot at them. Next up, let's fight a Diabolus. Diabolus? Diabolus? I'm sure I will say it 3 or 4 different ways, and we're just going to deal with that. But let's summon some mechs, because they're really fun to fight. Also, we got this quest set quite some time ago, so I believe it's scaled to way back on the original time that we pulled the chip from the Mechanitor. But I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that that's the reason this is quite this small, though. As we wait, you see we finally got some hay in, so we are swapping that over. We are finally getting potatoes in. And quite a bit of time is passing in between these cuts, as mostly we're just trying to get the monument built. So the day-to-day is pretty mundane. You can see maybe not even a quarter done. We are starting to run a bit low on steel. We're not looking out with where our mineral scanners are finding resources. So we're going to come up here and grab the steel, and we'll dig through this mountain to get to the rest of the steel in the deep water. Because even though we called the robot, we don't want to fight it. We just want to go mine some steel. You can see in the zoom out, our little forest over by our anima tree also has been growing as I have time to let the pawns out to go expand the trees. And more cows. I had donkeys in here at one point too, and we have gotten rid of all the donkeys. We just do fine with our one trusty steed, Flo. So far kept 2 out of the 3 animals we started with. Poor Simon sure did have an unfortunate end. But let's fight a mech. Also, these rifles are just so fantastic to play with. They have such a nice range. I forgot the Diabolus has a nice range as well, so it of course hits Mila, but that's okay. We'll be all right. Little guy just outside our range there. Always just outside of range. And there we go. Let's stun. Let's skip him over to, well, the intention was over to our melee fighters, but apparently not. And pull everybody back. Really decided he did not like Mila. Also manages to wing Vorath. But Mila okay, as is Forath. So we'll skip the little Minotaur over to get smacked by Gavril and Danny. And we've got some side fire from Smith and Four Eyes. Skip another Minotaur over. And it's time for a big boom, so let's get the heck out of the way. Oh, down just in time. There we get a signal chip, which will let us unlock some additional mechs and mech technology. Seem to have survived okay. We are letting Nestor not fight. He is just 13, and so, well, he can help if need be. We are, he's also nudist, so he doesn't have clothes on, so he's just gonna hang out. And we're gonna run as everyone is busy meditating at the tree, getting ready to do a linking. And hey, look, there's a whole bunch of elephants here. You can see, unfortunately, Has moving quite slowly. I think we got a round of food poisoning again, which is always delightful, even with high-level cooks. So we're gonna make use of that skip sidecast and get him up to a door. While we probably could take on all these elephants, not with such little warning, and certainly not all while they're bunched up. So inside the walls we return. See, the elephant does bang on the door a bit, but we do fortunately have double doors. Still don't have a double door on our one little fighting position, but everywhere else is double doored up, and the walls are doubled up as well. In most places, the sand didn't allow for a few places, but all in all, I think we're pretty good. So as the elephants rage on, we do get advanced fabrication, letting us make our own advanced components now. We now have standard mech tech unlocked. You can see unlocking quite a few more things. I was gonna get recon armor. I'd like to get better helmets. Probably will not make full armor for everyone. Still have quite a few things we didn't do. I do like auto doors more and more the longer I play. They do make a big difference, but ultimately, if we are going to finish up Danny's Royal Ascent, we will need the piano. We've made do without the noble gear, having lucked out on that prestige gear. And so with that, as the elephants rage outside our walls, we shall call it an episode. Thank you so much for joining me today in RimWorld. I do hope you are enjoying the series. As always, have a pleasant day, and I'll see you next time.